Cara and Paula measured the hole in Karen's door. "Gosh," said Paula, "I hope we're doing this right." "Too late now," laughed Karen. She studied the diagram again. The floor around her was covered with nuts and bolts and sawdust. Paula looked down at the diagram. "Too. Maybe we shouldn't have started this thing without some help." Earlier that day, they decided that Karen needed a deadlock on her door. There'd been 2 killings in the neighbourhood and everyone was afraid. But neither Paula nor Karen had any idea of how to put a deadlock in. "Whoa," said a voice from the doorway. "You 2 ladies have made a mess." Karen and Paula looked up with a start. A young man was leaning against the door frame. He smiled over at them. "Looks like you could do with a hand." "Oh, well, yes. As a matter of fact," Karen said, "you know there's a killer out there, and we thought." Paula put her hand on her friend's arm. "Wait a minute, Karen," she said in a low voice. She said to the man, "What can we do for you?" The young man smiled again. "I work for the local paper," he said. "I'm looking for new customers. I was hoping to interest you in taking the newspaper." "I don't think so," Karen said. "I don't usually have time to read it." "Oh, but there's a special offer this month. You get the first 2 weeks free. If you want to cancel after that, just phone us and say so. No pressure. Why not try it? There's nothing to lose." "That's a good deal, all right," said Karen, "but I'm not interested. Besides, as you can see, we have a mess on our hands. We'd better get back to work." "Sure," said the young man. "I can see you're busy." He looked down at the wood and tools on the floor. "Is that a deadlock you're putting in?" "I used to work with these at a hardware shop." "I'd be glad to help you with it. It's really simple if you know what you're doing." Karen got to her feet. She brushed her hands together. "Thanks," she said. "We'd really appreciate some help. I'd be happy to pay you. In fact, it's worth it to me to get this lock in today." "Oh, that's not necessary." The young man waved his hand to dismiss her offer. He picked up part of the lock and placed it against the door. "This won't take very long," he said. He went about his work quickly, and in a few minutes he had finished. Karen smiled. I don't know how to thank you," she said. I really don't. I feel like I should buy at least one of your newspapers." "You don't have to decide now," said the young man. He paused. "But I tell you what, why don't you think about it? I'll come back some other time. Like I said, no pressure." "Fine," said Karen. "And well, thanks again." 2 days later, the telephone rang. Karen got up from the couch and answered it. "Hello," she said. "Hi, Karen, it's Paula. Listen, I'm calling because of that article in the newspaper this morning. Have you seen it?" "No, I haven't. I don't get the morning paper." Karen picked up the phone. She moved back to the couch with it. "Listen, Karen, this is important. Another woman was killed in your neighbourhood last night. That makes 3. Last night it happened in the block of flats just down the street from yours. You know, the one with all the trees in front." "Really? Gosh, who was murdered?" "I don't know. I didn't read the whole story. I wanted to ring you right away. Karen, I'm worried. I'd feel a lot better if you came and spent a couple of days at my house." "Take it easy, Paula," Karen said. "I'll be all right. Remember, I have a deadlock now, and there's a peephole in the door too. I'm not going to open the door to anyone I don't know. Wasn't that how those women were killed? They let a stranger in. Right. Well, I'm not going to do that. Okay. But this morning's paper says that he's using a new trick to get into women's flats. He's posing as a Let me see. It was here, on page 3. I just started reading the article when I called you. Just a second. I'm looking for it. Karen could hear Paula put the telephone down and turn the pages of the newspaper. At the same moment, she heard a knock on the door. Paula, Karen said into the telephone. Hold on, there's someone at my door. Karen took the phone to the front door. She looked through the peephole. Paula's voice came back on the line. Here it is, she said. I found the article. It says that Karen interrupted her. It's that guy who fixed the lock the other day, Karen said. He told me he was going to come back. He wants me to take the paper. Remember, I'm going to let him in. I need to start reading the newspaper. Karen! cried Paul. Don't let him in. It says here that the killer is now posing as a newspaper delivery. Karen, did you hear me? It says that the killer is pretending to sell a newspaper. Karen! Karen!